In this video I'm going to talk about how I increased my IQ by 13 points. To begin with, around about 3 years ago, I tested my IQ by taking the Mensa IQ test. In that test, I got a score of 136. So that's pretty good. I was pretty happy with that score. That's like a 1 in 100 kind of score, and it's just enough to get into Mensa. You need 132 to get into Mensa. So 136, it's not that bad, but really I was kind of not that happy with it. So after getting that score, I started researching everything I could do to possibly increase my IQ, because I wasn't happy with 136. I wanted higher than that. And I found a few things that can actually increase your IQ. So most people think that you're born with a certain IQ and you can't change that. Well, I know that's definitely not true. You definitely can increase your IQ. So the main thing I did to increase it was a form of brain training. There's a type of brain training called dual NBAC. What I did was a harder version of that training. I call it quad NBAC. So basically it's the hard mode version of dual NBAC. So this training I did to increase my IQ, I did it for 2 solid years. And in that 2 years, I did around about 400 hours of this training. And that's pure training time I'm talking about. So I'm not counting any breaks. I'm counting pure time with my brain working 100%, really training. So 400 hours in 2 years. So it's a fairly big time investment, but I'm kind of happy with the results. I think it's definitely a worthwhile investment of your time to do this training. After about 2 years of solid training, I tested my IQ again, and I came out with a score of 149. So I'll just show you here. So I'm pretty happy with that increase. So that's a 13-point increase after 2 years of training. And I didn't do anything else really in that 2 years that would possibly increase my IQ. Like my diet was fairly similar. So my diet and lifestyle was not really changed between the first test and the second test. So I don't think there's really anything else that impacted during that time. So I think the 13-point increase is purely from the brain training. So some people might argue that because I took the same test again, that I would have got a bit of a higher score because of the practice effect. And this can be true from taking the same test again, but in my case I don't think it was, because first of all I took the test 3 years apart, and second of all I did 0 other IQ tests during that 3-year window. So I purposely didn't do any other type of IQ test during that time, because I know that if you do a lot of IQ tests you can actually become a little bit better at the test, but that doesn't really mean that you've become smarter. It just means you've become a little bit better at kind of identifying the same type of questions they might ask you in these tests. To give one example, I've got a friend named Doug who actually took the Mensa test twice as well. So he took it once and got a certain score. I won't say what his score was. And 1 year later he took the test again to try and get the highest score that he could, and he scored 2 points higher after 1 year. So, and he also tried to kind of improve his sleep the night before and things like that. So I think that's the maximum effect of the practice effect that you could expect from taking the same test again. And keep in mind that he took the test again 1 year later, whereas I took it again 3 years later. So the practice effect for me should be far less than 2 points. And I also didn't improve anything else before the second test. Like I didn't get a better night's sleep. It was around about the same. My diet was the same. So in my case, I actually think the practice effect was 0 of the 13 points. So I think the full 13-point gain was 100% due to the brain training and nothing else. If anyone's interested, I could go into more detail on what the actual training was, like how to do it, when you should do it, like what's the best way to do the training. If anyone's interested, just leave a comment below and I can make a second video on exactly what you should be doing with this type of training, if anyone wants to get into it and gain 13 IQ points like I have. I'm also going to be making a lot of other videos all about IQ, increasing intelligence, and just how you can maximize your intelligence in all various different ways. So I actually think my IQ has increased significantly since that 149 score, which was March this year. I think I've gone up at least another 5 points since then due to the other things I've learned and due to doing another 100 hours of this brain training. So I think I'm probably around about 155 IQ at least. So if you have any interest in finding out all the different things that I'm doing to increase my IQ, then yeah, make sure to like and subscribe the video, and I'll keep you updated with the things I learned, the different things I trial on myself, you know, different diet and lifestyle things, different nootropics that I've tried that work or didn't work at increasing my IQ. My goal is actually to increase my own intelligence to 195. So an IQ of 195 would be around about a 1 in 1 billion IQ. So I'd be around about the most intelligent person on the planet. I know that's very egotistical to have that sort of a goal, but I think there's huge advantages to increasing your intelligence. The main advantage is that I think your net worth, it correlates with your IQ, and it correlates exponentially with your IQ. And I've kind of proved that with myself. So, for example, my last year was the most money I've ever made, ever, by a lot. So, I definitely think that increasing your intelligence will definitely increase your net worth. Because if you think about it, anything you do in business, anything you do with investing and trading, it all comes down to your intelligence. It comes down to your working memory. It comes down to your fluid intelligence, your crystallized intelligence. Basically, that's the only factors in determining how much money you'll make by trading, investing, and in business. There are lots of things that I've tried other than brain training to increase my IQ. Multiple of them have worked. So I've got lots of other videos that I'm going to make on all the different things I've tried to increase my intelligence. Some have worked, some have not worked. So if you're interested in increasing your own intelligence or just following along to see how I go, to see how far I can go with increasing my own intelligence, then make sure to like and subscribe the channel, and yeah, I'll keep you updated with any new videos.